Hey guys, today we're going to talk about tiny Bugingo Island, located in Africa in the eastern part of Lake Victoria. The island can rightfully be called the most densely populated island in the world. According to official data, over 100 people live on just 2,000 square meters. Although rumors have it that a lot more people actually live there, about 500. After watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to make sure you don't miss anything. Let's go. The tiny Bugingo Island on Lake Victoria wasn't populated for a long time. Only the evil spirit Kalela lived there. And now there are over 130 people living on the island with the area of only 2 square kilometers. The island doesn't belong to any of the neighboring states, which are Uganda and Kenya. Moreover, it is ruled by a democracy which is so rare in Africa. And in just 1 week, the residents of the Bugingo Island earn almost 3 times more than their mainland neighbors do in a month. So how do the residents of the island live, and what do they spend their huge earnings on? Lake Victoria in Africa has been the inexhaustible supplier of fish to Uganda and Kenya for a long while. But over time, the population of the freshwater fish began to decline, which is why it was decided to artificially increase the population in the 1960s, and the Nile perch was released into Lake Victoria. The huge and hungry fish quickly ate their smaller relatives. Of course, the local fishermen began to fish for Nile perch and sell it. Neither Uganda nor Kenya could ignore the increased demand for Nile perch on the market. Moreover, they have long been debating about the tiny and very well-located island of Bugingo. While the heads of states were arguing, George Kibebe and Delmus Tembo, 2 fishermen from Kenya, sailed to the island in 1991. Not even the fact that the evil spirit Kalela was living on the island could stop them. Seeing the opportunity to become rich, the fishermen spared no money and hired a powerful shaman. For some 300 kilograms of Nile perch, the shaman performed a ritual to banish the Kalela spirit from Bugingo Island. The path to the island was open. At first, Tembo and Kibebe were the only 2 people living on the island, but another 60 people joined them soon. The island's population quickly increased to 130 people, according to 2009 data, who had previously lived in Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya. Technically, the island doesn't belong to any of the neighboring states, so Kibebe and Tembo declared it as an independent republic. However, they weren't left in peace. At the very beginning, when Bugingo was just getting populated, the locals faced a very big problem: pirates, which constantly looted the developing settlement. Thefts, robberies in broad daylight, violence, and never-ending threats were the reason why the fishermen asked for help from both states at once, Kenya and Uganda. And both of them reacted instantly. In 2004, the Uganda Coast Guard established its own police station to protect the island from pirates. The flag of Uganda was raised over the tent where law enforcement officers were stationed. In exchange for protection from the pirates and the arbitrariness of the neighbors, the governments of the countries demanded the island's residents to pay taxes, but of course, they didn't agree. This resulted in a series of conflicts between Kenya and Uganda. The coast guards of both countries even broke shacks on the island and cut fishing nets. There were a few gunfights in which several locals were killed. This also caused several armed fights between the Ugandans and Kenyans living on Bugingo Island itself, which ended in the death of 6 people. Finally, in 2009, a committee was convened to determine the status of the island. A joint decision was made that the Bugingo Island's local fishermen would pay taxes to both Uganda and Kenya. That same year, Kenyan police arrived at the island, led by the famous politician Julius Mutulaga, who declared the island the territory of Kenya. Exactly 1 day later, the Ugandan government sent 60 armed Marines to the island. The world media called these events Africa's smallest war at the time. The tension, however, remains to this day. Every 2 or 3 months, there's a message that one of the 2 states send its military to the island again and raise the state flag, declaring Bugingo its property. In the end, both of the neighboring countries began to govern the island, which the residents of Bugingo Island sure didn't like. The fishermen were forced to pay 25% taxes on their profits to both Uganda and Kenya. They also give 10% of the profits to the authorities of Bugingo itself. However, they don't really suffer that much, since the Nile perch is very expensive and skillful fishermen can earn up to $300 to $400 per week selling it. They prefer to spend the money remaining after taxes on Bugingo itself. Fortunately, there are enough places for entertainment on the island. Before the mass settlement, the island had quite lush vegetation. Today, there are only 2 trees left, leaning against the rickety shacks. The locals live in very cramped conditions. There is no regular housing on the island. There's also no hospital, so the islanders either go to Uganda or Kenya for treatment. All the shacks are built from the profiled iron sheets and have neither baths nor toilets, only a kitchen and a bedroom. The islanders use the surrounding waters of the lake to both wash up and as a toilet. There's no electricity on the island either, as well as television and the internet. But it seems that the local fishermen and their women don't need it. Fishermen spend their time fishing, and their women gut the fish. They gut the Nile perch right on the shore, after which they send most of the catch to be sold. They clean the remaining fish and hang it on the fishing lines or wires to dry right in the narrow passages between the shacks. And in their free time, the Bugingo Island residents relax and have a lot of fun. There are many places of entertainment on this island, with the area of about half a football field. Bugingo has 5 bars, several hotels, its own pharmacy, and a beauty salon for women and men. There are also 4 brothels where local women work as ladies of the night. Bars and brothels quite openly sell alcohol and soft drugs, but only to the locals. Bugingo doesn't suffer from the lack of tourist attention, as they often go there on tours. They've even built a few hotels with the same profiled iron sheets with dirt floors for the tourists. The more or less regular buildings on the island are the police station, built by the Ugandans, and a small church. The Ugandan police keeps the order and protects the tourists. By the way, they can't stay on the island for longer than a day. This rule was set out by the honorary senators Kibebe and Tembo, who govern the island's affairs. All the laws and rules of behavior aren't just thought of by the senators Tembo and Kibebe. They confer with 5 more male senators who are elected by the island's residents. The Big 7 from Bugingo only make decisions by means of a general vote. The laws governing the most densely populated island in the world are strict, but fair. The senators reserve the right to hold trials and punish perpetrators. They are especially hard on the thieves. According to a Bugingo elder, there have only been 6 cases of theft on the island since 1991. For petty theft, the thief gets beaten with straw whips. For a grand theft or repeat offense, the offender gets expelled from Bugingo Island forever. Such a prospect scares most people, especially the well-earning fishermen. Thus, there is virtually no crime on the island, not counting the rare drunken fights. Moreover, new people capable of provoking conflict don't come to Bugingo, since they can't settle on the island, as the senators have forbidden the construction of new houses. The residents of Bugingo Island have a real opportunity to prevent overcrowding. Outsiders can't get settled on the island, but babies do get born there all the time, and many of them, despite the lack of medical care. Just some 200 meters away from the tiny island, there is Bugingo Island, with the area a couple times greater than that of Bugingo. But the islanders are in no rush to settle there. Why? It's all because of the evil spirit. Kalela, who was banished from the island by the ritual of exile, fled to Bugingo. But it turned out he wasn't alone there, since another spirit named Tuk, an even more evil one, already lived there. None of the shamans are willing to take on exiling the 2 of them, not even for a ton of precious Nile perch. Still, Bugingo Island is not deserted. There are a few buildings on Bugingo where scientists from different countries live. They study the flora and fauna of Lake Victoria and at the same time observe their neighbors from Bugingo Island. The evil spirits Kalela and Tuk don't touch them. But there's a very simple reason for that. All the scientists are white, and according to the African beliefs, the evil spirits don't care about them. Well, that's it for today. What do you guys think? Are there evil spirits actually afraid of the white scientists and that's why they don't harm them? Or is it something else? Let us know what you think in the comment section and don't forget to like the video. There will be many interesting things coming soon, so subscribe to our channel and click on the bell to make sure you don't miss anything. We'll see you soon.